We met in college and we were going to a football game together.
Pam walked in the door with my sister and I immediately was interested in who was with my sister.
Hey, who's that guy over there? And she went, that's my brother. And I said, that's your brother? Can I meet your brother? Not gonna lie, he was sitting there with his shirt off and he'd been working road construction for a couple years, so he was looking very good.
I was on the beach with my brother and his wife, and I see my favorite book, The Power of Now.
I see this guy a couple of yards away, and he was gigantic, and he was tan, and very scary, very intimidating.
I said, excuse me, miss, how do you like that book?
Fine.
It's fine. I was hoping for a little more than that. At the time, I was 235 pounds, linebacker in the NFL. My intentions were good, though.
We actually met for the first time at a coffee shop where I studied all the time.
I was hanging out with a friend of mine who knew Emily, and she actually had kind of a crush on Emily.
I thought he was gay, so I just said, oh, well, he's a very nice boy, and then sort of wrote him off.
The first date would be quite a while after that.
People ask us sometimes, what was your first date? And I have no idea. Like, I can't even think of if we went on a date. I don't know that he knows. If he knows, that's bad.
We watched a lot of movies together, marathons of whatever we decided to take off the shelf.
I'm not the type of person that follows all those rules. You have to wait 3 days, or I don't believe in any of that. So I probably called her later that day or the next day.
And then a week later he called, and he stuck to his plan. He asked me to lunch, and I called my mom and I told her about it, and she was upset that I gave a large stranger my name and number, and she said, don't you dare have him pick you up. You meet him there. I don't want him to know where you live, and you take your pepper spray, young lady. And I did. I took my pepper spray and I met him there.
And then we spent the rest of the day together at the football game and went out for pizza afterwards, which was not our first date, by the way, although he thinks it was.
Well, there is some controversy about this, but I have been straightened out. So the first date that we officially went on was to a play called A Flea in Her Ear, I believe it is.
We just had a wonderful time talking and laughing, and it was a super funny play, and so it was a great first date.
I knew after the third date that this was the woman I wanted to marry, that I was going to marry. I was even considering, as crazy as it may sound, proposing to her after our third date.
He was just always really nice and kind and friendly and wanted to be with me and called a lot. He was kind of clingy.
I was probably what some might say is a little clingy. When she graduated, I still had another year of school left, and she broke it off.
We were apart for about 8 months, and then I realized, oh, I've made a horrible mistake. And so I called him on the phone and was like, it's up to you if you want to get back together, but I want to get back together.
I kind of wanted to make her sweat a little bit. I think I maybe made it a day before I called her back and told her, yeah.
I would say the recipe has been communicate, 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 and over-communicate. Being married isn't something that just happens because you fell in love at a football game in college. A marriage that thrives happens because every day you get up and say, I still want to be married to this person.
You have to marry the right person for you.
I think that every time we've had something difficult, you know, a loss or something, you know, else that comes up and you're just like, I'm not prepared to deal with this, you force yourself to deal with it, and you deal with it with that person.
Forgiving quickly and talking, staying current are really important.
We don't hold anything back from each other.
Staying fresh, staying active in life, learning and growing together, never becoming stagnant and still. I think that is really important.
Well, I think his best positive characteristic is that he's very kind and generous.
I'm always very complimentary of her behind.
He goes from totally reserved to wildly outspoken, and you have no idea when it's going to strike.
I'm positive that's what she said, I would say.
And the last thing, guys, don't ever fart in front of your girl. Girls, don't ever fart in front of your guy.
There's so much love.